Okay, here we go. This is U.S. history. U.S. history first hour. I guess week two of kind of being in lockdown mode here, social distancing and all that good stuff. So first of all, I want to say great job to the work you guys did last week. From you're on deck to wrapping up World War II, doing the practice assessment on Illuminate, and so I know that many of you did that, and so that was awesome. So great job last week, and so now we're going to go forward here. And so, hey, what we're going to do this week is we're going to kind of have an opportunity to kind of like reteach and kind of redo something that we touched on earlier in the year. We didn't really get really involved in it much. And so just an opportunity to maybe kind of go back and, just kind of review some things that we did and maybe just dial in and maybe dig a little bit deeper. And so if you visit our class site, you can see that I have a new title, a new big idea, on our class site. And our new big idea it deals with foreign policy. Again, it's something that we've talked about in the past, domestic policy and foreign policy. I think we've used our example in class quite a bit about George Washington's farewell speech. Really wasn't a speech. It was actually like a letter or a document that he had written, and it got published in like papers and stuff like that. So it wasn't like a speech, where he stood and talked and people listened. But I think we remember from Washington's farewell speech that it was a warning when it came to foreign policy that, maybe the best thing for the United States to do is kind of like mind its own business, don't get caught up in the muck. Yeah, I said the muck, of other nations' issues, other nations' problems. And so, obviously we've shifted from that foreign policy being isolationist, and obviously we became more involved in foreign policy. So going back a little bit, it's in TCI chapter 19, and it kind of deals with some examples of the United States kind of branching out in foreign policy. And so the one we're going to take a look at today is TCI chapter 19, the introduction. And it was basically the United States kind of using its military might, it's flexing its military muscle on the country of Japan. And, we know Japan being an island kind of comprised of like four main islands. In the 1850s, I don't know, I'm not, somewhere around that time, Japan was pretty isolated. I mean, it had minor relations with China, a little bit with some Dutch merchants, but for the most part, Japan was isolated and kind of like just worried about itself. And the United States kind of makes a decision that, hey, this might be a good stop in the Asian theater, maybe a new trading partner, an opportunity to get more involved with this country of Japan. And so TCI chapter 19, the introduction, that's really all I'm going to ask you to read today, if you would like to read it. And it kind of deals with the beginning of opening Japan's ports for trade. A guy named Commodore Matthew Perry kind of arrives in Japan with, at the time it was called Edo Bay. Today we kind of know it as Tokyo, with these steam-powered ships, these steam-powered battleships. And so to the people of Japan, they were like, whoa, they were like blown away because, for 200 years, they were pretty isolated. And so as the Industrial Revolution, took off, Japan really didn't know much about the Industrial Revolution. They just kind of stayed how they were. And so Commodore Perry shows up to Japan with these battleships, steam-powered, probably intimidating, I would say. And he brings with him a letter. Yeah, a letter from the president at the time. His name was Millard Fillmore. Yes, I just said Millard Fillmore. And so what I have attached for today is an opportunity for you to create a brand new, that's right, a brand new living document. So we've done living documents all year, and so that's, pretty easy peasy. Obviously, you could title your living document any way you want. If you just want to title it, foreign policy, you guys can come up with it. So go ahead and create a brand new living document. TCI chapter 19. The only thing I need you to read is just the introduction, and it's a pretty small chunk. It's a pretty small chunk, but it kind of deals with the United States flexing its muscle. And kind of in the 1850s, given Japan the so-called option, to open its ports for trade. And so read that. I have in our Google Classroom a set of questions that kind of deal with this. And so those are some questions that you can answer and put in your living document like we've done all year. Opportunity to copy and paste some pictures and some maps like we've done all year. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But one of the connections that I hope to make is how quickly, and it's remarkable how quickly Japan for 200 years really becoming isolated, not involved in the Industrial Revolution. And then by the 1860s, they start dabbling with some trade with the West, the United States and Europe. And we'll throw Canada in there as well. But how quickly Japan went from this isolated country. And then obviously we know in World War II that we just finished last week, how quickly they became this mega power in the Asian theater with their expansion and their military, and just how quick they're able to do that. So kind of hope at the end we can maybe make a little connection on just the speed and how quickly Japan went from this isolated country into a military power that obviously in World War II was, just they were able to expand as quickly as they did. And so that's kind of where we are. And so Google Classroom, you have this video of me explaining it, and you have a set of questions that you can put into your brand new living document. So kind of where I'm at right now is I think each day I'll add a couple of questions to the packet, or to the set of questions as we go through TCI Chapter 19. So that's kind of where we're heading this week. Again, things could change, but I think that's a good direction to kind of go back and kind of reteach, redo, and maybe just dig a little bit deeper into the United States and our expanding foreign policy, and we'll go from there. So it is Monday morning here at the Flint House. It's about 9:20, and so I'm going to go for a run this morning. I see that old man Winter showed up again. I guess he's grumpy, not ready to let go of wintertime, but I'm going to get outside and try to get a run in. And I'm going to run some errands today, trying to stay busy, doing a lot of painting here this past weekend. Yeah, painting, that's tough work. So I'm doing some painting. So got some odd jobs today that I'm going to do. And so I'll be checking my email throughout the day. So if you have any questions about the assignment or just anything in general, feel free to reach out. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And so that's kind of our plan here for Monday. The On Deck is posted. I'll do the On Decks every morning, kind of our routine. It's my routine. It kind of helps me kind of get up and get going. So then you can turn your On Decks in on Friday if you would like. Again, the work on your On Deck and the work on this new living document dealing with the expanding foreign policy in the United States. Again, this is stuff that's not going to be graded, but it's just an opportunity for you to learn and to grow and to expand your mind. So just a good opportunity for you to take advantage of that if you would like to do that. So that is it. And I'm signing out. I'm going to take off this shirt and tie. I dressed up for you guys this morning, but I'm taking this off immediately and putting on my probably some type of professional wrestling t-shirt, and I'm going to get outside and get a run in, because I know Mr. Cato is probably out running right now, and I will not be outdone by Mr. Cato. So there's a new guy in town. His name is Doug Flynn. So that's what we got today. So everybody have a great day, and that is it.